Hello there guys, and welcome back to a brand new review. This will be my first review of 2023, and I thought I would start with something, well, that is a new release for this year. This is the Schleich 2023 Gallimimus. Now Gallimimus, which name means chicken mimic, is a genus of ornithomimosaur that lived in the late Cretaceous period around 70 million years ago in what is now Mongolia, so in a place called the Nemegt Formation, where it lived alongside many other dinosaurs, including Tyrannosaurs, Tarbosaurus and Alioramus, fellow ornithomimosaur Dinochirus, the giant Therizinosaur Therizinosaurus, hadrosaurs Barsboldia and Saurolophus, as well as ankylosaurs Cychania and Tarchia, as well as sauropods, Nemegtosaurus and Opisthocoelocordia. Now Gallimimus, for a time, was considered the largest ornithomimosaur, at around 6 metres long, 1.9 metres tall, and around 440 to 450 kilograms in weight. Now Gallimimus, being an ornithomimosaur, would have been one of the fastest of dinosaurs. In fact, an estimated top speed for this animal is around 42 to 56 kilometres an hour, or 29 to 34 miles per hour. So, amongst dinosaurs, would have been pretty fast, and it needed to have been, considering Tarbosaurus and Alioramus may have been animals that would have preyed upon it. Now, when the Schleich Gallimimus was announced, many of us, I think, were probably a little worried, considering Schleich, well, they're not the best in terms of accuracy. I mean, we can all agree there. However, I was pleasantly surprised when the images were finally revealed to see that this Gallimimus was coated in feathers. And first impressions, I have to say, I am very impressed. I mean, who'd have thought that a company like Schleich would have given us a pretty decent and accurate-ish looking Gallimimus? Because, as we know, Schleich and Papo are notorious for some of their, well, movie monster-inspired designs from a certain franchise. But, surprisingly, they've gone for a more accurate-based route, so I am very impressed. But, before we go, of course, into my proper opinions on them, let's at least have a proper look at the figure itself. So first we'll start off at this head sculpt. The head sculpt is actually really, really nice. It's got some nice weathering here on the beak, some nice detail. We have got some nostrils there that have been sculpted in. So some bit of a nice dark wash as well along the top there. The eyes have been painted black, so a glossy black sheen to them. There are no ear holes, as they are kind of covered by the feathers, but they would have been about here, where my thumb is, just the back of the skull. The beak is of course closed, but you can see it's definitely very nice looking bird-like beak, so you can definitely see how very ostrich looking this animal is. Then as we go all the way down the neck, we see we've got some really nice feather sculpting. Now of course these aren't feathers like we would see on like a lot of birds today, but these are sort of like long ratite like feathers, sort of like on an ostrich and an emu. So I like that they've at least sort of looked at the science about some of the impressions that we know of fellow ornithomimosaurs that have actually got impressions of feathers. These feathers are indeed what I would call definitely science-based. And as we go down the neck, we've got more of see all the nice feathering detail, especially the ruffles at the back of the neck. I think that's quite a nice attention to detail. As we go down, we've got more of these longer feathers going along the body. As we go down the arms, we see we've got these long penicus-like feathers, the wing feathers. So they've been really nicely picked out. Some really, really nice detail here on the wings. Like, beautiful. Like, look at that. Really nice attention to detail there. See all the lines along the feathers as well. The inside of the feathers, the hands. We will come back to these hands, because that's something, there's a little issue I want to talk about with those. But so we've got some more feathering detail here along the body, even on the underside as well. The underside has got some nice feathering detail. Around here. As we get to the legs, now of course we know from, as I said, other ornithomimosaurs that have been preserved with feathers, the legs would have indeed have been bare, just like modern day ostriches and emus. Again, we'll come back to these later. I want to talk about the scale work on here. But there are definitely some nice scales Nice detail. Got the 3-toed feet. Weirdly enough, there is no dew claw. Don't know why that hasn't been sculpted on there, but, you know, fair enough. And we've got some more feathering detail here along the side of the body, going down the tail. And then we end, of course, in a fan. Not a huge tail fan, but there's enough there to at least maybe it could have used it for display as well. So if we go on the other side as well, some more of that detail. Really like these like larger clumps of feathers. I think that's really cool. Really nice attention to detail. So yeah, so I wanted to talk about the hands and the legs here for a second. So with the hands, I don't know why Schleich have done this, and you can sort of see them there. You can see like the claws and the fingers, but they're sort of in this like weird sort of circular knuckle shape, and I don't know why they have sculpted it like this on both hands. I mean, I know that it helps with stability on the one, but you can really barely make it out, and it's such a shame, because if it was the same colour as the legs here, that would have been some really nice detail here, but yeah, not great hand detail for Schleich on this one, so it's a bit of a missed opportunity. But I just thought I would point that out. I mean, you can sort of see the fingers and the claws, sort of, but I think if they were just painted a little differently, perhaps it wouldn't be as, well, a bit of an issue, just personally for me. I think that these, like, it stops it from being really good, accurate figure. And of course here with the legs, now, Schleich have sculpted them like these really large, sort of wrinkle-like scales, and we know for a fact that, well, from the impressions that we have, there wouldn't have been these large scales, more like the skin or smaller, tinier scales, like what we see on modern-day birds. Their legs are bare skin, basically. Now, of course, the scales on an ornithomimid would probably have been a lot smaller, but so I can sort of see why they would have done it for like to show off the larger figure, you know, the larger scales and everything. But I don't know, it does seem a little odd, especially like looking at it, like, you know, these really large, bumpy looking scales. It is a little peculiar, but I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too much into it. Perhaps there is evidence for this. I don't know for sure. But if there is about any of these larger scales, please do let me know. The colour scheme as well, I actually really like it. I think it rather suits an animal that lived in a desert and occasionally swampy environment. This sort of nice grey coloration all the way down with this lighter grey on the head. See, like with the top of the head where the feathers ruffle a bit. This sort of the yellow on the beak with a dark brown wash. I think that contrasts really nicely. And a stripe of red going from the underside of the neck all the way down to around near the base of the neck, and some red bits here on the arms as well. I think it would have been nice maybe if the entire wing was covered in these red feathers. You can see there's some red wash going along, and we've got this lighter grey colour on the feathers. But I mean, I don't know if they're going for a male or a female. Potentially a female, judging from the duller colours of the wings, but I think if they really wanted to make it stand out a bit more, maybe make it more red on the wing, I think that would have made it look really, really cool. But, you know, I'm not a designer at Schleich. But just for a few little comparisons, let me just go bring in a few other ornithomimosaur figures. Right, so first up, here we have the Schleich Gallimimus next to the Collector Struthiomimus. As you can see, well, this isn't an exact scale replica, but you can see that the Schleich Gallimimus is definitely a lot bigger than the smaller Collector Struthiomimus. Thought I'd just bring that in. Here we have the Safari Limited Dinokairos, which would have been a contemporary of Gallimimus, and as you can see, not a good scale. Unless, of course, this is a juvenile, which would make a bit of sense, but you can see, even with the detail of the feathers, you can see as well, there's a lot of difference here. Even in the beak design as well, but I think these two look pretty cool. Here we have the Schleich Gallimimus alongside the Collector Beishan Long. You can see the Beishan Long is a lot taller than the Gallimimus. And last but not least, here is the 140 scale Dinokairos from Collector as well. Dinokairos was the biggest of the ornithomimosaurs, about almost 11-12 meters long. So probably a sub-adult or teenager for this scale work. Dinocaris would have been about probably a lot bigger in comparison. But yeah, just thought I'd bring in just a few of those comparisons. So, with everything considered with this figure, I think that Schleich have actually done a pretty nice job of replicating this animal. There are a couple of nitpicks here and there, and you know, it might not be the model for everyone, but currently, I'd say this is the most accurate-ish Gallimimus on the market. With a market oversaturated with the Jurassic Park version, this is a breath of fresh air, and I think at the minute, yeah, it's going to be the most accurate. Until, of course, Safari or Collector give us a more accurate representation. Please make a more accurate one. But yeah, I think if you guys are looking for a good Gallimimus figure, one that is currently up to date and, you know, accurate-ish for the moment, then I definitely recommend it. You can pick it up from any good toy shop like The Entertainer or Smith's Toys, and also online at various companies, including Everything Dinosaur. I will leave a link to Everything Dinosaur in the description box below, where you can purchase the Schleich Gallimimus, as well as all of the other brand new Schleich products they are releasing this year. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this review of the Schleich Gallimimus. Please like and comment. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You know, I'd love to know your guys' opinions as well. Will you be picking up this Gallimimus? Do you think it's one of the best ones? Well, we'll find out. And in comparison to the other Ornithomimosaurs, do you think you'll be putting it in your collection? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, my friends, I hope you all have a nice day, and I'll see you later. Take care.